Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. I'm Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wives. You can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad, and on Instagram and on Threads at Movies TV Mad X, and on TikTok Mad Mickey's World, and on Snapchat BMouth16 Mick, your host with the most. You know what I mean. Welcome to the DCU Daily Bite Size, because I want to add some more tea to this whole situation with the DCU. With Superman, will it fail? Will it succeed? What happens if it fails? And not necessarily, let's not talk about necessarily Warner Brothers being sold to Universal, but maybe DC Comics. And I think that could be a situation, because what we've seen from Zaslav in the past, he's selling little bits and pieces off. And DC Comics could be next. I think probably the plan was to build DC up with the DCU and try and make it worth more money, then get rid of it. I think they were going to sell DC. Look, it's a great shame what's happening. They've, people who should never have had their hands on this studio, on DC, have got their hands in it. And it's a great tragedy as far as I'm concerned. So how do I feel about the potential of Universal buying DC Comics and owning the brand, the comics, the movies, the TV shows? I think it will be the best thing possible. I think when I think about the great job they're doing over there, they also own Illuminations. Illuminations has done really, really well. I love the Illuminations guys and girls working at that studio as well. I think they're great. They're passionate about what they do. And the Mario movie was outstanding. Some people don't think so. Grace Randolph thought it was bad. I enjoyed it personally. Who cares what Grace thinks anyway? Or as I call her, Harley Quinn. But anyway, I would be very, very excited if Universal Pictures bought DC. I think it would be the best thing. And I think about all the other studios. I would not want DC going anywhere near Disney. Like, a lot of fanboys would be, oh my God, we could have Marvel crossovers. I don't want Marvel crossovers, although Hulk versus Superman would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? But no, we'll just let people do that on YouTube, right? But no, at the end of the day, I think it would be the best thing. Look, we are in an industry now run by creatively bankrupt people. People who are in their positions who are not qualified to be in their positions. And I think that Universal may be the last competent studio out there. When I think about all the other studios now, like even when you think of it like a recent success story like A24, they're starting to annoy me a little bit as well with some of their actions. And I think Universal, although, they do a few things that are kind of annoying, but you look at the money they're making. I mean, Wicked made a lot of money, despite a certain casting, which was a predictable casting. Well, you can argue both the castings of Wicked weren't the best, if you ask me, but the girls did a good job. The movie made money, everyone went and enjoyed the movie, and I'm sure people will enjoy the sequel as well. Universal don't lose money. They are the biggest studio out there, and they're only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think if they do get DC, they'd make competent decisions. For example, if Universal had their hands on MGM and Eon and Bond right now, I think we'd all the Bond fans, including me, would feel a lot more relaxed about that situation and that scenario. A lot more relaxed than we are about Amazon. A shopping company, a streaming company owning MGM, owning Bond, owning Eon. It's not a good thing. I think Broccoli and Wilson still own Eon, or a portion of it, as far as I know. So I think Universal is the best option. I think it is absolutely, it's sad that Warner Brothers is going to be sold off bit by bit. I grew up, as I said in my other video, Warner Brothers is something I grew up with, my favourite studio. They made some of my favourite movies, but that's in the past. They've been run into the ground. It's very, very sad. And I think the best thing to happen now is for DC to be sold to Universal. I'd be very happy with that. I would have no concern about that, because I think they're the best run studio out there. They've got, Christopher Nolan left WB. He's at Universal now. James Wan basically was driven out of WB really by James Gunn, he's at Universal now as well. At a certain section, I think he's going to be making some horror movies or whatever James is doing. But I think any DC fan concerned about this and thinking, oh no, what happens if Superman fails? Maybe, and I hate to say this because I don't want Superman to fail. I want it to be a great movie. I want the DCU to be successful. Don't see how it's going to happen, but who knows? We could all be wrong and everything's going to be fine. But I think one way or another, DC will go to Universal, and I think that's a good thing.